Welcome to Design, Material and Meaning, the podcast that explores the unique era of design, fascinating materials, and the senses that elevate them. My name is Claire Kinelato, industrial and luxury product designer and creative director based in Corsica. Through this podcast, I invite businesses, entrepreneurs, creative souls, and designers to awaken your curiosity and discover exciting creations and topics. Together, let's look at the world through a new lens, the lens of global design. Let's get started. Rough, golden, raw, velvety, alive. It's been with us for thousands of years, and it still amazes us today. Though it may seem simple or familiar, it remains one of the most symbolic, historic, and precious materials on our planet. I'm talking, of course, about wood. In this episode, you will rediscover wood through multiple perspectives and learn how to identify it using key elements. The goal? To broaden your view of this living material and give you the right tools to analyze, prioritize, and choose wood in a more thoughtful and responsible way. Let's take a moment to go back to basics with curious and open mindset. I invite you to walk with me into the heart of the forest, where we'll uncover the secrets, characteristics, and main applications of wood. Between practical tips and a few beautiful anecdotes, this episode promises to be warm and immersive. What is wood? We all know wood through its many species, textures, and seasonal changes. Yet when it comes to its language or its memory, wood remains deeply mysterious. And yet, wood is firmly rooted in an ecosystem of invisible but essential exchanges. It is a living, connected organism. Contrary to what was believed for many years, trees are far from isolated entities. I still remember, back in 2017, leaving La Fourche metro station in Paris and coming across the poster for the book by forest engineer Peter Vollenbeen, Das geheime Leben der Bäume, The Hidden Life of Trees, a remarkable body of research revealing that trees communicate with one another through sense, electrical signals, and underground fungal networks. When you think about it, the Tree of Souls from the movie Avatar suddenly feel far less imaginary, especially when you learn that the relationship it portrays has a real name, dendrolatry. Derived from ancient Greek, dendrolatry is an ancestral reverence of trees. It invites us to honor them as elders, protectors, and guides of the natural world. If you believe that the connection between trees ends with their death, think again. An ancient tree stump is capable of transmitting its topographical and environmental memory to its surroundings, helping neighboring trees adapt and thrive. Today, we know that trees are also capable of sensing a form of pain and expressing identifiable reactions to stress or even danger. A tree attacked by insects, disease, or fire can, depending on its species, send chemical warning signals to nearby trees. In response, they may activate natural defenses or even release flammable compounds to reduce the risk of fire, as cypress trees do, for example. As you can see, forests are far more than carbon storage systems. Woods provides habitat for countless species, helps slow soil erosion, retains water, and lowers perceived temperatures in our cities. Trees operate through a remarkably interconnected system. We now know with certainty that oldest trees warn younger ones of solar eclipse, nourish them throughout life, and even after death by sending sugar through mycorrhizal fungal networks. This is a true system of social relationship, collective intelligence, and community influence. Avatar really isn't that far off, I promise. By sharing all this with you, I want to emphasize one thing. Believing that wood only reveals its value once it is cut is a mistake. While alive, it already acts as a precious ally. Before becoming a material to shape, wood is an organism that supports our territories, our cities, and our planet. This often overlooked dimension is what I want to bring back to the center of our attention. True lungs on Earth, trees retain an indelible memory of their history and environment, even once transformed into timber. To truly understand wood, we must first identify it through several criteria: its family, its main characteristics, and its internal layers. When I mention hardwoods and softwoods, these terms are probably familiar to you. There are indeed two main categories of trees, and their uses vary depending on their family. Hardwoods have broad leaves with visible veins. Most are deciduous, shading their leaves in winter to conserve energy. They often take over 20 years to reach maturity. A small anecdote: the true color of leaves only appears in autumn when they stop producing the green chlorophyll. Hardwood timber is generally dense, strong, and durable, making it ideal for furniture, flooring, carving, and fine cabinetry. Colors range from deep tones to lighter shades. Examples include oak, walnut, maple, beech, birch, chestnuts, teak, ipe, and many others. Softwoods, on the other hand, produce resin, which helps protect them during winter. Most are evergreen and beer cone-shaped fruits, hence the name conifer. They reach maturity much faster, between 1 and 3 years. They are usually lighter, softer, easier to work with, widely available, and therefore more affordable. Softwoods are widely used in construction and joinery, such as structural frames, cladding, flooring, molding, and furniture. They are generally light in color but less resistant to moisture, which often requires protective treatment. Example includes forest cypress, cedar, spruce, pine, larch, and sequoia. Plant species that produce wood are called woody plants. Lignin and cellulose are the two most abundant biopolymers on Earth, representing nearly 70% of global biomass. Each wood species has its own defining traits, which can be summarized in 5 points: color, brain, density, sense, and hygroscopic behavior. Wood color varies greatly depending on species treatment and geographic origins. For example, oak may appear light in Europe, but take on pinkish hues in North America. Grain refers to the visual and tactile impressions of wood when cut. It depends on the tree growth, texture, and cutting direction. Density influences mechanical strength. Because moisture content affects measurements, reference density is always indicated at 12% of humidity. As for scents, wood offers extraordinary aromas found in cooking, essential oils, and perfumery, like cinnamons, sandalwoods, cedar, eucalyptus, rosewood, almond, oud, and much more. Finally, hygroscopicity refers to the wood's moisture content per cubic meter. It varies when ambient temperature and humidity, causing dimensional changes. Wood needs time to reach hygroscopic equilibrium where its moisture stabilizes. To complete this understanding, let's break wood down into 3 main layers: the bark, the young wood, and the hardwood. The bark protects the trees from external aggression and is composed of several layers. From the outside in yard, the outer bark contains antiseptic tannins and pores that allow respiration. This is where cork is harvested from cork oats. Next comes the phloem, the living layer through which proceeds sap circulates. It is produced by the cambium, the third layer, which is vital to the tree growth. After the bark, we reach the sapwood, the lighter, younger wood visible on a cut trunk. It transports raw sap but is too soft and biologically vulnerable to be used. The usable part of the wood is the hurtwood, also called mature wood. Older and denser, it ensures the tree's mechanical strength and is used in construction and craftsmanship. I once brought carrots and a cutting board to class to help my students understand wood grain and cutting directions. Why carrots, would you tell me? Because they cut more easily than wood and clearly show a darker core, much like hardwood and sapwood. Next time you slice a carrot, take a closer look, you'll spot the resemblance. And of course, who hasn't tried to determine a tree's age by counting its growth rings? These rings record climate conditions and with lighter rings from spring growth and darker ones from summer. So how do we choose wood in a sustainable and responsible way? It's a question that felt essential for this podcast, and I'm going to try to answer it in broad terms. To begin with, it will be impossible not to mention the famous 5 wood use classes. I don't know if you heard about them before, but they are always valuable to understand because they determine the right applications depending on the risk of exposure to moisture. If I'm going to describe these use classes just after, I want you to know that in other countries, such as the United States or Australia, the terminology differs. However, the logic is very similar and always based on exposure to moisture and environmental risk. Each class defines a level of resistance and protection either through natural durability or through treatments such as process-treated wood or thermally modified wood. One important note here, the natural durability of a wood species only concerns the hurtwood, also called the duramen. Class 1. Class 1 corresponds to dry wood for interior applications with a moisture content always below at 20%. These woods are used for interior joinery or for areas that remain protected from humidity. Class 2. Class 2 includes dry wood that can occasionally come into contact with moisture levels above 20%, such as timber frames or roof structures. Class 3. Class 3 applies to wood that can be regularly exposed to moisture even above 20%, but without direct contact with the ground and without standing water. You will often see many vertical exterior elements in Class 3. These woods are widely used for construction parts or for exterior joinery such as cladding. Their durability generally ranges between 15 and 25 years on average. In this class, you can find oak, chestnuts, Douglas, spruce, and many others. Class 4. Class 4 moves to woods that can be in permanent contact with fresh water because it is more stable and also rot resistant. Some species are naturally Class 4, and these are often tropical woods such as marabou or cabreva. Others become Class 4 thanks to treatments such as Scotch pine or ashwood using thermal modification. Their lifespan is around 25 years. And finally, Class 5. Class 5 includes species that can be in permanent contact with salt water. These woods are extremely durable. Here again, you will find many tropical woods such as itoba, paddock, teak, or ipe. No surprise that these woods are common in marine environments, including yachts. Here, we are talking about several decades of durability. While some tropical woods are popular for their longevity and their colors, like teak or ipe, their impact is very often disastrous for our planet. Illegal trafficking, deforestation of the Amazon, poor forest management, and biodiversity loss. We have a responsibility to find alternatives and to select woods as close as possible to our own territories. Among the main suppliers of exotic woods in Europe, you will find Africa, Asia, and South America. In 2010, according to WWF, France was the sixth largest importer of exotic wood in Europe, with 23% of illegal imports. Today, only 12% of the world's forests dedicated to timber production are certified. Species such as black locust, robinia, or chestnut offer excellent performance and avoid the needs for exotic woods. There is also a wide range of natural solutions to alter the color of wood if the initial shade doesn't match to your project. Walnut husk stain, fruit juice, coffee, turmeric, minerals. The results can be incredible. Beyond legal issues, there are additional tools that aim to guarantee responsible forest management through the timber market, such as PEFC and FSC certification. PEFC, the PEFC label, Program for the Endorsement of Forest Certification, is an international certification that is particularly well recognized in Europe. It focuses on sustainable forest management and guarantees the traceability of certified forest products throughout the supply chain. This label is built around four main criteria: preserving biodiversity, protecting soils and water resources, managing forest stands, and promoting responsible forestry practices. However, PEFC does not include environmental, social, and economic standards in the same way. And that's where FSC comes in. FSC, the Forest Stewardship Council, currently represents 195 million hectares certified in 83 countries and 33,000 companies. This demanding label is based on criteria that go far beyond the wood itself. You'll also find it in paper and cardboard production. One important warning thought: it does not take into account the product's quality aspects, nor the treatments it may have undergone. The FSC criteria cover three major dimensions: ecological aspects, protection of forests with high ecological and cultural value, encouraging natural regeneration, reasonable and adapted harvesting, soil protection, GMO prohibited, etc. Social aspects, respect for indigenous people with workers, creation of local jobs, etc. And economic aspects, strengthening the local economy, valuing forests products and services. So keep an eye on your purchases. Look closely at the wood species you're buying, whether it carries label and where it comes from. This episode is already coming to an end. I hope it inspired you and made you want to integrate this wonderful material into your project and to see it from another angle. Thank you so much for listening to Design Material and Meaning. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it. Leave a rating or a comment. Every small J-star is a huge support for this channel and it always makes me so happy to read your feedback. See you very soon for the next episode where we'll explore other facets of design, its materials and its senses. Until then, take care and stay curious.